And board activities on Friday, November 8th, College Lake County co-hosted with Congressman Brad Snyder Veterans Breakfast. And my understanding is Trustee Anderson, Trustee Stanton, and Student Trustee Alexa Wahi were there. Any of you would like to make any comments?
I think it was very nice, and I complimented the congressman on him putting this together. It was basically his event, and I don't think I've ever seen that many veterans together at a CLC event since the old days of the early 1970s. So it was very well attended. Unfortunately, we had some water problems with the village of Grays Lake, which really weren't the college's problems, but anyways, no, it was really nice to see, and a lot of veterans got to see the college and got to see what we offer here for veterans, so it was very well attended.
Yes, I'd like to make a comment as well. I was there, and it was just a perfect, beautiful event. And Rich Anderson mentioned there was a water problem. Rich did a fantastic job managing that. We were fortunate that you were there. And he's got the knowledge of the water system in his back pocket. And so we were able to get through that without any trouble.
Thankful.
Yeah.
Alexa, any comments?
No comment thus far. I know they did cover everything, but although we do need to celebrate our veterans a lot more, I actually attended, like I said, the VP of Educational Affairs luncheon interviews, and one of our candidates is actually a veteran. And so just thanking her so much for her service and everything that they do for this amazing country. It's amazing.
I agree. Next, trustees Finger, Paul, and Julie Schroka attended the ICCTA meeting in Ohio on Friday, November 8th. Anyone like to make any comments on that meeting?
I think we all will. You want to start?
Always at these meetings there's one session that they provide information about, and this time it was about diversity. And they had a really nice panel discussion, and 3 individuals, very different. One was a commandant sergeant in the military, and all of them talked about their challenges and successes as being diverse in different parts of their life. And then Mark, he was a trustee at Prairie State, and then Dr. Diana Del Rosario, she works as assistant provost for student affairs at College of DuPage, and talked about some of their programs in diversity. And I thought that it was very interesting and worthwhile, and it's always nice to get ideas on what other schools are doing and see if any ideas can be incorporated here at CLC. Did you want to comment about the diversity at all, Catherine?
I'll talk about the roundtable.
Okay. And then ICCTA is also celebrating 50 years. That seems to be everybody is celebrating 50 years, except me. But
You're not alone.
Not yet. It's only 29.
You're not alone.
But there's going to be a lot more promotion during April, which is Community College Month, and we're going to be working with the presidents across the state. Kurt Oldfield at Spoon River is leading that charge to get the word out about all the good things that we do at CLC.
Great, and I'll just go on from there. I agree, the diversity workshop was fabulous. It's also wonderful just getting together with our trustee colleagues from around the state and to just live and learn together. I always come away realizing how great we are, not to sound proud at all, but we're just very fortunate to have such a wonderfully dedicated staff and supportive community, and you hear that message as you hear the stories of others. We do have a trustee roundtable, and we picked several different topics to kick around together. This time we talked about the continuation of the efforts to get the possibility of a 4-year nursing degree, which interestingly not all community colleges support, which we talked about that. But those of us that do, and you know that CLC has been the strongest front runner, and largely due to Rich Anderson, which we talked about. So thanks again for that, Rich. But interestingly, many other colleges have the same passion around early childhood education. So one of the conversation themes we developed was not only can we continue to support the four-year nursing degree efforts, because we feel we need that, certainly here in Lake County, but could we not step back and create a framework for various community colleges around the state to advocate for a four-year degree, so that we have flexibility and we can follow programs and follow student interests over time, which we appreciated. Other topics included whether or not we should have student trustees be full members of the board, and whether we should have a full action to that effect. And it was interesting, we thought, why do you need legislative action for that? You can simply make it happen, as we have done. So that was an interesting discussion. We had some financial discussions as well. And then a lunch that was hosted by the organization, and Lieutenant Governor Stratton addressed us, a very strong supporter of community colleges, and it was inspirational to hear her remarks in a small setting. She was very personable, easy to chat with, quite impressive. So it was a great day.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Tim,
I also attended that
well,
meeting.
did you, Tim? I'm sorry, Rich, I didn't know that.
So if I could just piggyback on what
Sure.
was already said. When I talked with Nick earlier in the day at the Veterans Breakfast, I received a letter to present to the Lieutenant Governor, which I was able to do at the beginning of the luncheon. So she received our letter as talking about funding for the capital development of the Lakeshore Center in Waukegan. So she was very enthusiastic about it and took it and said she would be getting it to the governor post haste. So that was encouraging. A couple of piggyback things about the legislative coming up in January. Number one was this push to get a vote for a student trustee, which we all call the Dale Chapman bill because it's from the president of Lewis and Clark Community College, who was ousted on a 4-3 vote. So he figures if he gets the student trustee on his side, he gets to come back as president. So that was the only college supporting the vote for student trustees. Blackhawk Community College introduced an interesting bill which would allow more than one student trustee with a student trustee from each campus, and each college can define what a campus is for purposes of the student trustee. So in our case, if we have 3 campuses, we would have 3 student trustees from the 3 different campuses. So a lot of talk about that. Can you do this on your own without legislation, things like that. So that's going to be an issue coming up in this upcoming session, and I think we're going to have a lot to talk about. Other than that, that was basically it.
Thank you. Trustee Powell, do you have anything to add?
I think everything has been totally covered. I totally concur with everything that's said. This was an interesting conference, and enjoyed being there.
Thank you all. The December board meeting, we're going to start that at 5. I believe, right? We've got that on for 5 o'clock. And we will have the trustee dinner after our board meeting next month. So we'll start a meeting at 5, and then we'll have the trustee dinner afterwards. Foundation update. Julie, anything in the foundation?
Yeah, I did get, actually the foundation board meeting is Thursday, but I communicated with the executive director of the foundation, Kurt Peterson, and he gave me a few things to mention. First of all, congratulate Rob Twardock for partnering with the foundation to secure a 3-year $100,000 plus grant from Baxter for the Maker Fair. And the board's going to vote tonight to accept that gift. And as long as we're talking about grants, I want to say last month Nick Colliaris wasn't here, and we had the booklet of all the grants, and I want to say fine work again, Nick, on all the grants and all the people who partnered with you on getting those grants. I know that it's getting tougher and tougher, especially with the competitive grants, so thank you very much for your work. And On our the foundation's first day of giving in September, saw the launch of our new crowdfunding platform. I think I reported $23,000 in one day, but it's actually $24,000 in one day that the foundation raised with the new crowdfunding platform. So as technology gets more and more friendlier with fundraising, I think that that's going to benefit us in the foundation. And on Giving Tuesday, which is the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, they're going to be partnering with the Women's Center to raise emergency funds for students in crisis. So please, everybody, watch your social media feeds to learn all about that opportunity. And then, I know there's been a lot of talk. The 50th anniversary gala is going to be taking place April 18th at the Harold Washington Library downtown. And so invitations, so look in your mailbox, will be going out in early 2020. And the theme is a golden ticket to success. So those are the items for the foundation.
Does it mean we get to do like Willy Wonka?
Willy Wonka, are you doing Willy Wonka cards?
Can we go for the golden ticket?
Are they?
Just want to go to the
Yes.
I don't know anything about Willy Wonka. What does that mean?
Willy Wonka, the chocolate factory.
Miss Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
good
still
enough.
time.
I got it.
We're gonna catch him up. We'll catch him up. Pop culture.
That's how that works. Okay, thank you for explaining that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Julie. Anything on the UCLC?
Nope, next month, if we have our meeting, I'll update that.
Okay. Trustee Howell, anything on the ICCTA and or the Master Planning Steering Committee?
ICCTA, nothing other than the conference that everybody just finished, and I had to have someone be my representative because I was not in the country at the time, but I'm sorry that I missed it. But that happens every once in a while when you have a spouse who only gets vacation at a certain time. As far as the Master Plan Steering Committee, they met today, and there was a big group. We had a good group today. Lots of information that they gave us, lots of charts and graphs and what have you. But essentially, what they've done is they've gone around to every group that they're working with and asked them to give them a wish list kind of a thing. And so, for each of the campuses, they have these emerging priorities that are not in prioritized order yet, but they're things that they wish that they could have. And some of them overlap with the campuses, and a few of them are different between the three, or among the three campuses. But I did note, and I mentioned it already to Dr. Sudek, that one of the important things that I saw was more work in the area of cybersecurity and safety, because that has become a really big issue all across the country. We also noted that we are down 3,843 student enrollments since 2012, and they talked about some reasons as to why that might be happening, because right now unemployment is low, so people aren't rushing back to pick up college credits. But overall, it looks like our use of space in the three buildings is pretty good in terms of how it's divided up. Everybody wants more storage space, obviously, but the other things that they're looking at are things that are going to be coming along, and they're going to have all this information. We don't meet again till January, and the steering committee meeting is January 28th, and they are hoping then that they can start putting this in prioritized order for each of the campuses to see where we're going to go from here. But please keep up with the virtual stuff. That's really important.
Thank you very much. I'll turn it over to President or the President's report.